Howdy, folks! Welcome to Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey. That there is Mitch. I'm Mike, and oh no, we don't have a guest, but we do. He's coming. We are thinking outside the box with this episode, and we like to have not just voiceover actors, but sometimes we like to dip into other areas of creative minds. And we've had actors, like on-screen actors. We've had musicians. We've had, audio drama writers and stuff. We have dipped into one of our passions. What passion is that, Mitch?
It's board games.
Board games. We've talked about it like probably our fourth or fifth episode. We talked about board games and our shared passion for them. Well, I've been talking to a guy who's pretty well known in the board game industry. So if you're a geek like us, you may know the name Jamey Stegmaier. He is the owner, creator, designer at Stonemaier Games, who've put out wonderful titles like Viticulture, Scythe, Wingspan, Tapestry. And they're releasing one now that just dropped called Vantage that I am truly excited about it, that I pre-ordered, and that is coming in the mail any day now.
It's any day? I got to order now.
Pretty soon, yeah. I haven't gotten the shipping order yet, but it's bought and paid for. It's coming.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I better scoop that up, too. We'll talk about that in the interview, too, but this game sounds awesome. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to say this in front of Jamey. I'm not a big co-op game guy. But this one sounds like exactly what I was hoping for from games.
It is a big exploration game, discovery, working together but not together, because you have separate information, right? You land on one part of a planet. Whoever you're playing with lands on other parts of the planet, and you're not sharing cards. You're describing what you're seeing and the things that you're doing. And so it's just, the concept is just sounds amazing. I've been following along since he announced it last year, and so I have been just truly can't wait for it. So,
and I can't believe we've already interviewed him by now.
Yes,
we've already done it.
We're recording an intro.
So I can go ahead and tell you that I can't believe I kept it together, to be honest. I spend more time with his content, i.e. his board games, than I do with almost any other types of content made by anybody else. That's how his games are among my favorite. Wingspan is my favorite game. I didn't get to tell him that because I was too giddy, but maybe he'll listen. So I was just thinking that, like, you spend so much time with these things, these labors of love, and we got to meet the dude who essentially has wasted a lot, not really wasted, but he has created space for a lot of my time and brought joy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been a board gamer since I opened my eyes, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been heavy into the hobby games since probably 2014, 2015. I mean, I didn't know this world existed. I had all the the Target shelf games like Life and Monopoly, and then I got like 2008, 2009. I got Catan.
Catan,
this
dude,
is cutting edge.
Whew.
And then I find out all this other stuff exists, and I'm like, wait a minute, where have I been? And I dove full in. If you could see right outside my booth here, because my booth is a closet in my office / game room. And my board game room I probably have over 200 games on my shelves. I have a homemade board game table that I built by myself with my sons and a friend of mine. It's I mean, voiceover, yes, is what I do. It's a passion. Board gaming,
another passion. Also a passion, not just a hobby.
No.
And it's a passion in the way that we fan over the gameplay. We fan over the art. We know who makes the games. We would play test a game if it was brought to our attention, or ease of access at least.
Yeah.
There's many facets.
Yeah, I mean it's a thrill. I mean, like I go to just a shout out to BoardGameGeek.com. If none of you are aware this site exists, it's basically the Wikipedia of board games. and they put on a convention every year in Dallas, so close to home. And I've been going to it for this year. I think I'll be my 10th year, and it's great. And sometimes you do get to meet board game creators, and I actually have one called The City of Big Shoulders. That's a big economic game, and the guy was selling it there, and he autographed my copy of it.
So, that's cool.
I've
got an autographed Photosynthesis, if you've ever played this one.
Yes.
That's
Very
right
nice.
up my alley. So there's some fun little questions and tidbits that we got to get in the half hour with Jamey, and I didn't realize till we started talking to him that
Well, don't give anything away.
Well, I'm just gonna say
Let
that,
him listen to the.
No. I'm just gonna say that maybe I did know this all along. I pretty much just my favorite games involve creatures or animals. It's just somehow or nature. Yeah, that's that kind of comes up too. But what else do we have?
The one game Mitch and I have when I visited Detroit, the one game we have actually gotten to play together is a game called Earth, which is about plants and stuff, but really crunchy game and something. Yeah. I mean, it mirrors a lot of Wingspan. It's kind of in that. In that genre as far as some of the mechanics and the tableau building and all of that. But so we had fun with that. Wouldn't it be fun if we could say that we played Wingspan, and we could have told Jamey, hey, we've only met once, and when we did, we played your game, but we didn't.
I thought you were going to say, wouldn't it be fun to say that we played Wingspan with Jamey Stegmaier?
Hey, maybe someday. There's goals, man.
We have life
Jamey,
goals.
If you do listen to this after the fact, just we'll fly to where you are, and we'll to play Wingspan with you.
Yeah, it won't be weird, and I'll bring my wife.
Or we'll just play Wingspan outside your bedroom window.
Oh, this is getting weird now. This is getting weird now. Yeah.
All right.
He's like, why did I go on this show?
Yeah, he's gonna be like, oh, those guys were funny, and then he'll see this and be like, restraining order. No. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the interview, because you don't want to hear us. You want to hear Jamey, because he's a fascinating guy, and which we talked about offline after we recorded and before we hit record again. Just a super cool interview, super cool guy. One of our favorite interviews we've done. He's so accessible. He's always, if you comment on one of his games on BGG, BoardGameGeek.com, if you comment on one of his videos on YouTube, he'll write back. There's a lot of people that won't do that, and it's just he's just super accessible and super appreciative of the people who love his stuff. So,
and anyway, we appreciate.
Yes, and we appreciate him. Mm-hmm. So here you go. Here's our interview with Jamey Stegmaier, owner and creator at Stonemaier Games.
Pew pew pew. Believe it.
All right, so hey, we are here with one of our idols, Jamey Stegmaier. As y'all know, Mitch and I, big board gamers as well as voiceover actors, and so I've been talking with Jamey for quite a while about stuff, and thought, hey, let's shoot our shot and see if he wants to come on the show to talk about board games, especially his. So welcome, Jamey. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a legend. I can't believe my hand is not shaking. Honestly,
yeah, it's funny because we talked to a lot of other voiceover actors and people who have done stuff where it's like, oh, you're in that show, and that's pretty amazing. But there's this little bit of Mitch and I both talked about, we're like, we're talking to Jamey Stegmaier. He's created things that we enjoy. Just to read off. Here's what's on my shelf from Stonemaier Games, right? Scythe, Rise of Fenris. Expeditions from the Scythe family, Viticulture, Tapestry, Charterstone, and then games that you haven't created but you distribute, Wingspan, which is the shirt you're wearing, and Pendulum. And then I pre-ordered Vantage last week. So I love your stuff, and it's good quality stuff, good as far as games, mechanics, as well as the product itself, and so just respect you.
Yes, and my wife wanted to shoot out a kudos before we get into the interview. Thank you for the organization. I feel it too, but the organization of these games is why can't everybody do this? It's nice. It's worth the money. Yeah, just thanks.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you like that. That organization is like the how we organize our games is like the last part of the process. So it's sometimes not quite an afterthought, but because like you can't really do it until you have all the components in place. And so sometimes you get to that point, you're like, oh wow, there isn't room in the box to put a fancy insert. So we got to find some other way to do it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Like
I've been following
boxes.
along. When Vantage first got announced, because I had subscribed to the newsletter, and first of all, it was like, okay, it's a Stonemaier game. Second of all, oh my gosh, this is right up my alley. And so I've been watching the process the entire time. And then just recently, I watched your video where you did like the pre-production and then the last pre-production, and we're like showing how all that fit into the into the boxes and stuff, and I'm like, so cool.
So cool, guys.
But I know we only have you for a little bit of time, but we want to not only allow you to plug Vantage, because it's amazing, I can't wait for it, but also, our deal here is to find out the story right behind the person. And so we want to know what drives you. What way back, little Jamey or whatever, said, I want to design board games. What started that? How did you start Stonemaier Games? First of all, also, why Stonemaier? What's the origin of the name? I mean, obviously I get the Meyer, but
I'll start there. We might jump around a little bit, but with I started working on a game that ended up being Viticulture back in 2011, and it was me designing the game, working on the game, trying to get friends to play test this game that wasn't working very well. I was still having fun with it, but I always felt a little guilty when I asked friends to do that, especially at that time. But one of those play tests, I played with my friend Alan Stone, and he was the only person that ever came back to me and said, hey, Jamey, I actually had a really good time doing that. Not for what the game is, but because I liked the process of playtesting it and talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that I wanted a partner in my endeavor, but when Alan said that, I was like, oh, do you want to help out a little bit more on an ongoing basis? And so that is the Stone part, Alan Stone and Jamey Stegmaier. Gotcha. When we decided on the company name, we just combined the two names together.
I feel like we should have known that, Mikey.
I know a lot, but I don't know everything.
You are the face of the company.
I've stalked Jamey for a year, but not to that extent.
Yeah, Alan is much more behind the scenes. He has another full-time job. He has a family. He does a few specific things, but he's been incredibly helpful over the years. I'm going to see him tomorrow for some submission playtests.
We'll give him a shout out from us.
Yeah.
So while you were a child playtesting Candyland to give us where did it start? How does this fire? I mean, I have the fire and it piddles out quickly. I'm sure Mike, a lot of board gamers have this like, I've got a game idea, and then that's about as far as we go. How do you keep going?
Well, as a kid, I was playing games like Candyland, like Monopoly, Scotland Yard, a little bit of Magic the Gathering, Risk. And a lot of times I would play those games and then I would kind of design my own version of it. So from a young age, it was just something that was fun for me to do. As an adult, I guess the key moment, there's lots of stuff that happened as an adult. I was curious about Kickstarter. I was curious about game design. I was curious about the whole production process. But the key moment for me, really, that it comes down to is up until a specific day, the day that Viticulture launched on Kickstarter, I was largely making the games for me. Like I was doing it because it was satisfying for me to make it. I enjoyed the creative process. But the day that launched, it kind of a flip switched. A switch flipped? No, what did you do?
That's it.
We get you. We understand where you're going with that. Yeah.
And I realized that it wasn't about me anymore. It was about who I was making the game for. I was making it to bring joy to other people, these strangers who were showing up on Kickstarter to support it. And ever since that moment, that was a big moment for me to realize that it wasn't about me. It was about you. It was about everyone else. And that has been my philosophy running Stonemaier Games ever since, that it's about me trying to serve our customers, about me trying to bring joy to other people through what I have the pleasure and the honor of creating as a career.
Nice. And as a creator, I can tell you're always playing. you say,
Yeah.
I'm playing these 70 games this week. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the heck is going on?
I love the fact if our listeners haven't checked it out, I mean, Jamey has a YouTube channel, and he not only talks about his own games, but he talks about like here's my 10 favorite games of 2025 so far, or here's my 10 favorite mechanisms from whatever. And so it's neat to hear, because you hear from like the talking head board game reviewers all the time, but to hear from somebody who actually designs board games and has these opinions and gives shout outs to other designers and such. It's really cool, and appreciated. So I do watch the content. I do.
Oh yeah, I should that. I've learned so much from other designers and other games and other publishers that and I like talking about games. And I really like having that YouTube channel. I started around 8 years ago because I wanted an outlet to talk positively about games, the games that I was learning from, and that's been the perfect outlet for me to do that.
Yeah, and it like I said, it's obvious that your passion for board games comes out, and your accessibility is great as well. Just the fact that you interact with people who at you on Board Game Geek or on your YouTube channel, or idiots like me that reach out and say, "Hey, do you need any voiceover work?" And the fact that you actually replied was amazing.
Truly amazing.
Yeah. What I want to know, okay, so like viticulture. I mean, that was like you jumped in and you hit big, immediately. But Scythe, that was the second one, right?
That was the first really big one was Scythe. That was in 2015. I think that was my last Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I think it was like our fourth or fifth game.
Okay. But
Yeah,
I mean that one. I mean that's on a lot of people's top 10 list. It's on my top 10 list. It's just it's such a fascinating game. The fact that you literally have 4 actions to do, and there's so much going on, and there's area control, and there's a little bit of combat, but there's all the building and trying to maximize your top and bottom actions and all. It's just so chunky and yet so accessible, easily teachable for me.
That's my wife's fire game, by the way.
Yeah, so many people just love that game. Viticulture again. I mean, you had success with Viticulture, but Scythe had to be like, holy smokes. What was that like when that hit so big and had such a positive reaction?
It was really exciting. I mean, it was a big turning point. It was fun for me to work with the artist because the game originated through this art
So
that
beautiful.
Jakob was starting to make. I think he made maybe a few dozen illustrations before I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I'd love to make a game in this world. Do you want to work with me?" And then he went on to make another 100 illustrations for the game. I think
Started
that's what
with the
drew
art.
people in. Yeah, started with the art originally.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was it. It was exciting for me to work through that process in a new way. I'd never made a game from the art from the ground up, and to see people resonate with it both on Kickstarter but also after they received it too, because a lot of games on Kickstarter might do well and then people don't end up actually playing them all that much. But Scythe, people have played it for many years.
Yeah.
We've sold over 500,000 copies, I think, in many different languages. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh yeah, totally do.
And
So take us through now. Now we're at Vantage is a project that you have been working on for what 8-9 years. You've said.
Yeah, a long time. Ever since Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, that was one of the original inspirations. And I think that was like 2017, 2018, somewhere around then.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's truly been a labor of love. So kind of take us through that process, because I know there's been a lot to it. I mean, there's what 800 something location cards, and then another 600 something item cards.
Yeah,
That's a lot of content.
It was a lot to work on. Yeah, I basically built a planet with 3 artists who illustrated the planet with these 800. You're right on for that. The 800 location cards, and then another 900 cards, things that you can find while you're exploring the world. Some are items, some are goals, some are I'll leave for you to discover. There's a lot of stuff in the world. But yeah, that was really fun to build a whole planet with these artists. So it was another kind of art from the ground up world, but I was collaborating from the beginning with these artists to create the world.
Okay.
And everyone can tell that art is a very important part to Stonemaier games.
Yeah.
It's got to look good to play good.
Yeah, and the quality of the products are good too. So this Vantage game, is this a co-op? I haven't looked into it, so I get to ask questions and crack this open. This is a co-op game. And Mike was telling me that you could play this with friends anywhere. How does that work?
Yeah, it was this is the influence of the pandemic on this game, designing the game partially during the pandemic.
Okay.
Where it is a fully cooperative game. You can play it with other people. You can play it solo. You crash land on a planet and you just explore that planet for a few hours, and then you close up the game and you're done. It's not an ongoing game. You play it in one session and you're done, and then you do it again the next time you want to play. But because I designed this during the pandemic, I realized that because you're crashing on the planet, like by design, if the three of us played, we would crash on different locations. It's just how the game is designed. We are going to do that. Our escape pods land on different areas of the planet. And so if you have a copy, if Mike has a copy and I have a copy of the game, we can hop on an audio chat because Mike can't see my location anyway. We're far across the world. I can talk to him. Right. I can't see what he sees. He can't see what I see. And so we could play the game from far away. And it's almost it's a little harder to play that way because we would only be talking on audio, but it is a little bit more thematic that way too, because right now Mike is literally in a different state than I am.
Right.
So it does work that way. I'm curious to see if people actually do that. I hope they will, but
it feels like
I'm trying to get him to buy a copy so we can do it.
It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. It feels like when the internet finally happened and you could finally play video games with a friend that you met in the UK or something like that, where it's like you don't actually know each other's location in the game and everything. That thing you hoped for when you played 007, that someone wouldn't screen look and ruin the whole game.
Right.
Man, how many scenarios? Did you do the math on how many different scenarios do you have this hiding somewhere, this endless number?
It's whatever the number is, it's really large because there are 800 total locations. There's 126 different locations that you might crash on. So you're probably going to be starting in a different place every time you play. And there are 21 different missions, but the missions aren't really scenarios. The missions are things like they're the reason you came to the planet. Like you might have come to the planet to find some animals, to gather some animals and learn about the animal life on this planet. So depending on where you crash on the planet, you're going to find completely different animals. So even if you use that same mission with the same character, if you crash on a different place, you're going to have a completely different menagerie of animals depending on where you land. There's a lot of replayability. Obviously, that depends on you actually enjoying the game to play it that much. And I hope it accomplishes that goal. But yeah.
Oh, I have no doubt that I will. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my built-in board game, my boys grew up, got married, moved out, and so most of what I buy now has to have some kind of solo component because I've turned into a hermit and I'm in my booth a lot, and so getting out and actually being with people and playing games, although I am this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the fact that there are, to play it and to only discover just a fraction of it every time you play just adds to that replayability. I'm kind of like just likening it to something. Oh my gosh! I blanked on it. The one where you're on a boat. You're on
Sleeping Gods.
Sleeping Gods. Sleeping Gods. Yeah, where it's like there's so many places to go, and you can play a game and only discover like 8% of it, and it's like, oh, I can go back in and I can just go the other direction this time. So I love that. I love that where it's not a campaign, and I do love campaign games, but the fact that this is something different that to me it sounds like it feels campaigny in that you're going and there's so much to discover, but then it ends and you can pick it up with a whole other group, and you don't have to. Like I'm playing through Frosthaven with friends, and we've been playing it for 2 years, and I've maybe done like 22% of it.
It's hard to get that group together on a consistent basis.
It is hard. I like a game to end, personally. I want to know if I beat my friends or if I beat the game or if I've been slaughtered by the planet or whatever it is. I need to know the outcome.
Get slaughtered. That's why I like Eldritch Horror. Sometimes you just got to have Cthulhu eat you.
It seems like the only thing that happens. So I guess what we didn't tap into was what you were doing before you just decided that this is now my career. This is the thing I'm doing. By the way, viticulture, that's your first game? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Kind of knocked it out of the park the first time around.
Right. So how does that transition work? Our transitions are tough as heck. I imagine board game design's similar.
I had 2 mini careers before that. I worked as a project manager at a medical textbook publishing company for a little while, which they were good skills to have for what I'm doing now, project management, editing, proofreading. And then I worked as more of a people facility manager after that. facility. I work from home, so facility doesn't come into play. But I was working on, it was a nonprofit, so I was doing fundraising stuff. I was trying to serve other people and trying to serve my staff. So that carried over well. And I had a bit of overlap in the transition where viticulture did well, and then I started working on the next game, Euphoria. And as I was working on that, and as it did well, and it was on Kickstarter, I was essentially working 2 full-time jobs. And so I asked my boss if I could get paid 20% less and work 1 fewer day a week, but still try to get pretty much the same amount of work done. I just would have that designated day to not go to my other job.
Oh, wow.
He agreed to it. And then 6 months later, other good things had happened at the company. We would continue to sell games, and that's when I decided to go full-time. So there was I didn't like quit my day job right away. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I transitioned a little slowly to see if it could work.
Yeah, 6 months it doesn't seem, I mean, how long were you working 2 full-time jobs essentially? Did you?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
It's pretty wild. I mean, I know a lot of voiceover people feel the same way hearing that, but getting to see, yep, there you go. Getting to see,
I got a full-time job, and I'm trying to do the VO thing, at nights. So,
yeah.
How much time? Oh, we don't have a ton of time.
We don't have a ton. Well, let's just do, I mean, hopefully it's an exclusive, but I mean, you got to have something in the hopper, right? I mean, you just finished Vantage, you had all that work, but I know you're not a one idea at a time guy.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something else that's like, hey, the next thing coming is.
Well, let's turn it around. I will say, what are you, knowing what you know about my company, or maybe the favorite game of ours that we have, maybe a couple, what do you hope is coming in the next few years? And if you touch upon something that actually is coming, I'll give you a subtle cue.
What do I hope is coming? Oh,
I'm going to say something out loud real quick, Mike, and I don't expect this to come because I've heard it's never coming, which is fine. But I've always played Wingspan and went, this could be Pokemon too. We love Wingspan. We freaking love Wormspan now. But
now you
I
got
assume
Fishspan.
that's Finspan,
Finspan,
which I want to play as well. But I don't think that's it. Not it, correct? Not even close.
Is there another version?
So you're asking me, will there be a
Span?
Pokemon version of
version,
Wingspan?
yeah.
I mean, I will outright say there are a lot of suggestions for what else we could do with Wingspan. People say insects, dinosaurs. We kind of explored. We chose dragons over dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We're really busy with fish, dragons, and birds. But if the Pokemon Company allowed us to work with them to make a Pokemon Wingspan, that is the one thing I will say we will do that. If that happens. I can't say, really nothing is in the works there, but if they say yes, we have reached out to them.
If anyone who works for the Pokemon Company is listening.
But really, it doesn't have to be Pokemon for me. I want to collect I collect birds
just other
constantly
IP.
on Wingspan. But it could be your own IP where you're collecting these monsters. And even like a...
Monsters.
Yeah, some sort of thing like that.
You've got the
and it doesn't have to be cards. It could be like out in a world almost like you're playing a Pokemon type game. I don't know why I need some sort of animal collection game in my life with pieces, but I can't even contextualize what that means. But Mike's got something better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it because you asked, and I'm like, I don't know. But then I started thinking, I mean, like one of my favorite genres, and I don't know as far as mechanics what it would be, because it would be something in like the fantasy realm, right? Something Lord of the Rings-ish, something, D&D-ish, but not a dungeon crawl. Like I couldn't picture you doing like a straight dungeon crawl, and there's so many of those anyway that you can find.
Hey, careful, Mike. That could be what's coming.
I'm just saying. I mean, there's a lot of them, and not that they're not good, but I could see you taking the fantasy realm and just, I don't know what mechanics it would be, but just making something different, something that it falls within that that purview, that genre, but just has some kind of different mechanic to it than we're used to in fantasy. Something like, like Role Player did it, where it was like, yes, it's fantasy, yes, it's D&D, but we're creating characters. So it's a completely different feel.
I like that example a lot, because that's, you're right, there's plenty of dungeon crawlers, there's a lot in that genre, but I do love high fantasy and Tolkien-style fantasy, and I love what Role Player did to make it all about building a character, and that's the whole game, and that's the puzzle of it. I don't have anything like that in the works, but I would have a lot of fun doing that, and I like the idea of looking at high fantasy from different angles in that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, we didn't even get close, did we?
Yeah, I guess we missed the mark. We missed the mark. Let's see what else we got. What else is out there? You're doing one in space now. So I don't know. Sports.
I worked on a game for
Sports
a little.
ball.
Yeah, sports would be interesting. The only way I would get into sports, by the way.
I like sports ball.
I was working on a game that was completely based on giving other people points, but it's kind of hidden. So more like a popularity game where you can never give yourself points. You have to somehow pass points or honor or whatever out to other people and then try to still win the game. And it'd be like a class system. That's the best I've ever tried to make, other than a game about fishing, which I did create. And there's a lot of those. I created it. I sent it to Blue Orange because they were having a contest, and did someone else won. I'm sure it was an awesome game, but it was super fun to actually finish. Turns out playtesting is really tough to find playtesters, especially children. How do you find playtesters?
I mean,
Mike wants to be a playtester.
I'll be a playtester.
Okay, yeah.
I'd love to be a
This is
playtester.
my wife's question too. Where do you find playtesters? How does somebody do that for your team?
Well, it's a good question. I am in somewhat of a privileged position there where I have a lot of people who want to play test our games. So I have a long list of playtesters that I have the privilege of working with. It is harder, I think, when you don't have that long list, trying to build it. And one of the most effective ways I've seen in general is like local meetup groups where you might go and playtest someone else's game. They might also playtest your game. Either at a local meetup group, a local cafe, local stores. Oftentimes, local stores will host events like that to get people in the store. Yeah.
Smart. But you have like an actual built team.
Yeah, we have like 100 different lead playtesters. I almost have too many playtesters, but I'm glad to have a lot of people to playtest our games, and they have their own groups. Some of whom have kids, some of them don't. So we get a broad variety of different types of people playtesting our games as a result.
That's good. I know I go to BGG Con every year because I'm Dallas based and it's right there, and there's no reason not to, right? And there have been there was one called the Plunderbuss, I think. And the guy was there, and he was bringing it around, and I played a prototype of it, and it was interesting. It was kind of a mob type game, and so you see those, and they've got like Proto Alley, where they have people come in and be able to play test their games. So that's really cool as well. I need to hit that up. I don't normally because I'm too enamored with the Cult of the New, the hot game and all of that, but. I need to hit up some of those prototypes because that's kind of cool being in on the ground floor or something, seeing something before a lot of other people see it. But
that's good.
I do have one more question.
Yeah.
This is serious. Okay. How do you feel about maybe your friends? They buy this game. You want this game really bad, right? So instead of waiting around for them to come around, you just scoop that game up in all of its expansions so their game now no longer matters to the whole friend group because you have How do you feel about that in a friend group? Is this a no-no? Is this a
trying
positive
to one
thing?
up your friend group? Because
More
by
like
getting better, more stuff?
circumventing the need for them to always be there for that game.
Interesting.
Is this would you say you would shun that person?
Sounds like a personal experience.
This is a real personal question that I thought
alienating
would be kind of
your
hilarious.
friends.
Yeah, no, not for real, but it happens every now and then. Friends do it to each other, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I play a game and a friend is so excited about it that they want to own a copy, I'm kind of excited by that. Like I'm like, oh, I introduced a game that you really love, or vice versa. Yeah. But I can see if you do have that special copy of the game, and you're like the guy at the game group that has that, and then someone else also gets it. I can see how that might tarnish. I can see how you might feel a little disgruntled about that.
We're going to have to have a therapy session offline, Mitch, because it sounds like some deep-seated problems.
I just thought it'd be a funny question, Mike.
All right. Well, hey, Jamey, I know we only have you for a little bit of time, and just wanted to give you a chance. If there's anything else that you'd like to say, or anything else that as far as like plugging your website or anything like that, again, you can for everybody. I'll plug you. Shoot, go to Stonemaier, just Stonemaier.com, right?
I think that works, and StonemaierGames.com. They should both work.
StoneMaier.games.com. Sign up for the newsletter because Jamey's real good about putting out content and detailed content about whatever's in the works now, and just other information. And it's really a fascinating read. Like I said, I mean, it's been fascinating to me to be feel like I'm a part of this whole entire Vantage process of, all the designer notes and all of that has been pretty doggone cool. So, but anyway, all that to say, now I'm going to turn it to you, and now promote yourself or do whatever. Any other final comments you got?
I mean, you did it for me there, and it means a lot that you followed along. I do appreciate people who like those stories. I spend a lot of time writing what's going on, so yeah, I really appreciate that. If anyone wants to follow along, that's the way to do it. Our newsletter, or if someone's like just interested in the game design side of things, the YouTube channel is there. It's Stonemaier Games on YouTube, and if you want to check out our games, we have a lot of information about our games on the website. We didn't even talk about Wingspan much, but Wingspan is definitely by far our most popular game. That's probably how people might have heard about us if they don't know anything else about us.
And what's the designer's name again?
Elizabeth Hargrave is the designer of Wingspan.
Gosh. Such a beautiful design. And another simple one, too, where it's like you have 4 actions. Yeah. And just so much happens in those 4 actions.
And she's a prolific creator. She's amazing. Quite a team, you two. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, hey, we truly appreciate you coming on with us, Jamey. And it was great to
see you
finally get to talk to you in person. And, hope to be your friend for a long time. Hope to be your, oh.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's been great chatting with you.
All right. Awkward goodbyes, everybody.
Awkward goodbyes.
Later.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Jamey.
Thanks.